So previously in last class we discussed about exception handling and one more concept decorators, right? So today we are going to discuss about file handlings. Okay, let's create a file. Okay, so what is a file, guys? What is a file? What kind of files you guys seen so far? What kind of files you guys seen? So file is a kind of a storing data, right? Storing data. It may be text data, it may be binaries, it may be something else. Okay. So what is the and one more thing, each file has some extension, right? So what is the extension for text file?
.txt.
What is the extension for Python file?
.py.
What about Excel?
XLSX.
Excel SX. What about images?
.jpg.
JPG, PNG, right? So to perform file operations in Python, we have some methods to handling all these files that we can say file handlings. So generally, very beginning, what is the basic thing? How we can create the file and how to write the file and to read the file. So only these concepts only in file handlings. First point. So if you want to perform any operation, either reading or writing, first you have to create the file, right? Create file. Then write. Then read. Right? Majorly this, okay, maybe after that save file. So only these four things only we can perform, right? What else we can do? Append. Okay. So to perform all these file operations, we have methods in file handlings.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Maybe
So
come to close to mic, Madhu.
okay. Yeah. So to perform these file operations, we have methods. There is a open method. Open method. Okay. So open method, by using open method, we can perform file operations. Okay. This is one way. Another mechanism with open, we can use with open by using this method we can perform file operations. Okay. So what is the difference between these two means? It is a method, okay, and it is a context manager in Python. Okay, that we'll discuss going forward. But assume that it is a method. Okay. So here we have the file modes. So it is very important to have understand file modes. File modes. So what are the modes we have means W means write mode. So generally W means write mode. What it will do? If file is not there, it will create and able to write the data. Okay. So if you use the write mode, you can if it is not the file, it will create the file and it will write the data. If already file is there, if already file exists, what it will do? It will override data. Okay, if file is already exist, it will override the data. Now R mode. What is the meaning of R mode? Read mode. Okay, so in general, basic thing, I will say to Tirumlesh, read the file. Which file? I will give ABC file. But if file is there, then only you can able to read it, right? Otherwise, what you can say? A file not found. Okay, I am not able to find any file which you said. It will throw the error. Okay, if if file exists, it will read the data. Otherwise, it will throw exception. What kind of exception? What kind of exception, guys? File not found error. Okay, so read mode. If file is there, it will read the data. Otherwise, it will throw the file not found exception. Okay. Now, A means append mode. So, what is the use of append mode?
To add data in it,
Hmm?
to store extra records.
Okay. One minute. Guys. Your- Sorry, guys. Okay. So, append mode, what it will do? It will add the data. Append. It will append the data at the end of the file. Okay, so generally there is a concept called cursor. Okay, so for append it will add the data at end of the file, but this one writing the data, it will start from the beginning of the cursor position. Okay, and it will use it to read as well. Read as well, sorry, it is only for append. Okay,
Just like
clear?
just like in the list, right, Madhu? Where how we have performed append operations in the
Append,
list types of same,
yes,
right?
same. It will add the data at end of the file. And write mode, if already file is there, it will overwrite the data. Okay, and it will overwrite the data and start from the beginning. Clear? First, we'll see with simple examples with these three modes. Later, we have W plus, R plus, append plus, then read and write plus. Okay, we'll see later. Okay. Now, as I said, we have open method. Okay. Let's say by using open, let's store in some object. Open. Here we have to specify file name. Okay. Let's say I'm going to give demo.txt file. Okay. And what is the mode I have to use? I want to write a data into my file. Which mode I can use?
W.
W.
Write mode.
Okay. So W. So object that there are methods to write the data. So generally we have methods to write the data. Write lines. Okay. So these are the methods we can use to write the data. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, write hello, I'm learning file handling answer. So something I have written in my file. Okay. Now, guys, here what we are doing, we are opening the file. Is there any closer? No, right? So I have to close my file by using close method. Okay, clear? So if there is a file, it will overwrite the data and it will add the new data. And if there is no file, it will create the file with this name, because we are using write mode, and we can write this data and we can close it. Okay, let's see. If I run this, is there any file with demo.txt? No, right? Nothing is there. Okay, it will create the demo.txt file. Let's run. You can see file is created. Hello, I am learning file handling concept. Right? So now, this time what I will do, I will add one more line. I'm learning mode.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు ఓపెన్ కి
Mm.
ఏం లేదు సార్.
So open method, it will take one argument as a file name, and second argument as a mode. Okay, mode means which mode we need to open the file. Write mode, read mode, append mode. Okay, so write mode open చేసాం కాబట్టి ఫైల్ లేకపోతే it will create the new file. If file is already exist, it will overwrite the data. Okay,
ఓకే సార్.
okay. So something I have added in the line. This is second line. So in this file, already we have one line. Okay. So next time if I run this one, what will happen? Is there any demo.txt file? Yes, it is there. And we are opening in a W mode, means write mode. If already file exists, what will happen? Avinash? Oh, sorry. Anush,
బ్రో
అర్థమవుతుందా?
అర్థమవుతుంది బ్రో. సో ఇప్పుడు ఫైల్ అయితే డైరెక్ట్ ఇక్కడ ప్యాకేజ్ లో క్రియేట్ అయింది, వెల్ అండ్ గుడ్. వాట్ ఇఫ్ ఫైల్ వాజ్ నాట్ దేర్ అండ్ ఇఫ్ ఫైల్ వాజ్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద డెస్క్టాప్ ఆర్ సమ్వేర్ ఎల్స్?
నో, యాక్చువల్లీ మన లొకేషన్ ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుంది అంటే, ఈ ఫైల్ ఎక్కడైతే ఉందో కరెంట్ ఫైల్, ఆ ఫైల్ లొకేషన్ లో క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా?
ఎస్ బ్రో, ఇప్పుడు సేమ్ డెమో టెక్స్ట్ అనే ఫైల్ ఇప్పుడు మనకు
చెప్తా. సో ఇక్కడ మనము వీ కెన్ ప్రొవైడ్ ఎనీ ఫైల్, ఎనీ లొకేషన్. ఇప్పుడు నేను కరెంట్ లొకేషన్ కాబట్టి నేను డైరెక్ట్ ఇచ్చాను. సపోజ్ నాకు నేను ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడో క్రియేట్ చేయాలనుకున్నా ఫైల్. ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ వన్ సమ్వేర్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు క్రియేట్. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తా, నా ఫైల్ పాత్ ఇస్తా ఇక్కడ క్రియేట్ అవ్వాలని.
ఓకే.
సో ఆ స్పెసిఫిక్ పాత్ ఇస్తాం మనం. సపోజ్ లెట్స్ సే కాపీ ఓకే, కాపీ చేస్తాం. Sure. Copy path reference. Okay. ఇక్కడ చేస్తున్నాయి. సరే, ఎక్కడ చేస్తున్నా? సి యూజర్స్ పైథాన్ ప్రాక్టీస్, అండర్ పైథాన్ ప్రాక్టీస్ లో నాకు డెమో ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అవ్వాలా.
ఓకే,
ఓకేనా?
లెట్స్
క్రియేట్ అయిందా? వచ్చిందా మనకి? సో ఇక్కడ జస్ట్ పాత్ అనేది వీ కెన్ ప్రొవైడ్ ఎనీ పాత్. సో ఇక్కడ మన కరెంట్ లొకేషన్ కాబట్టి కరెంట్ పాత్ ఇచ్చేసాం. ఓకేనా? ఓకే. సో ఇది ఇంకొకటి, ఈసారి చూసారా లైన్ బై లైన్ ప్రింట్ అవ్వలేదు ఎందుకు? సో వీఆర్ నాట్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ఎనీ న్యూ లైన్. ఇఫ్ ఐ యూస్ స్లాష్ అండ్ it will go print in the next line. ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు ఆల్రెడీ మన ఫైల్లో ఒక లైన్ ఉంది. నెక్స్ట్ టైం ఇఫ్ ఐ రన్ ద సేమ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, what will happen? So already file is there, data is there. So if I use write mode, it will overwrite the data. Whatever we have in this text file, it will overwrite and it will add these lines again. Okay, let's run. You can see earlier it is there in a single line, right? Now what will happen? After running again, I have added slash n for new line. So after new line, it is writing the second line. Okay, so this is the way we can use W mode. That's what we said here, right? If file is not there, it will create the file and write the data. If already file exists, it will overwrite the data. That's it. Okay, so here if we want to write multiple lines, we can use write line method. Okay, write lines. So here we can provide list of lines. Let's say third line slash and fourth line, something, just I'm entering some data. Okay, like this. If I run this one, what will happen? So first line already it is there. Okay, it will override and again it will write all these lines. See, first line, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line. Why it is not in new line means we are not provided slash n. Okay, like this. So this is the way file handlings will work. Okay, Now, why it is need to close the file? ఎందుకు క్లోజ్ చేయాలి ఫైల్? సో సమ్ టైమ్ మీరు ఏదైనా నోట్ ప్యాడ్ లో రాస్తున్నారు అనుకోండి, సడన్ గా ఏమవుతుంది చెప్పు, ల్యాప్టాప్ లో షట్ డౌన్ అయిపోతుంది. ఓకేనా? లేదంటే షట్ డౌన్ అయిపోతుంది, లేకపోతే మీరు సడన్ గా క్లోజ్ చేస్తారు. సో దేర్ మైట్ బి ఏ ఛాన్స్ టు డేటా లాస్, రైట్?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that is the reason we need to close the file. Okay, if you use with open method, we have to close the file. Okay, that is good practice. So the same thing I want to implement in try and except blocks. How we can use? So I want to write a function to write a file implementing try and except blocks. Last time exception handling choosing kada. Okay, let's try. So how we can create the function?
Using def keyword.
Yes. def, then
మనం ఏదైనా నేమ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలి కదా సార్.
okay, def write file with the data something. I have my function. So what kind of arguments I can provide here?
అది కూడా ఏదైనా ఇవ్వచ్చు సార్, దాంతోనే క్లోజ్ చేయాలి.
ఏదైనా
General
ఎందుకు ఇస్తాం?
ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ ఇవ్వాలి సార్.
అదే ఏదైనా ఎందుకు ఇస్తాం? ఏదో ఒకటి ప్రాపర్ గా ఇవ్వాలి కదా. సో ఏమి ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది ఫైల్ ఇక్కడ? సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ ఫైల్ నేమ్ అండ్ మోడ్, రైట్? కెన్ ఐ ప్రొవైడ్ యాజ్ ఎ ఫైల్ నేమ్ హియర్? File name and mode. Okay, now what is the next step? Try block. So inside this try block, what we can do? We can write the actual logic. Okay, open file name mode. Okay, object dot write learning, sorry, there is syntax. Okay, learning file handlings along with exception handling mechanism. Okay, now what is the next step?
Except.
So what we can expect here? What kind of exception we can get?
Value of the
what else?
Keyword error.
Keyword, where is the keyword? We can get permission errors. Okay, so permission error means, let's say you are working as a normal user in your laptop. Sometimes okay, even though sometimes if you want to write a file in C drive, C folder, it won't allow, it required admin permissions, right? In general. So that kind of exception we can get it. Okay, print got the exception, we can print that exception. Okay, and which blocks we can use after except block?
else final.
Okay, else I don't want now. Finally block. Okay, so what we can do here?
Print.
No. So generally, finally block, there is some purpose, right?
Close
What
the
is the
file.
Insert
so
every
tear down actions, closing actions? Okay, so here we can use file close. Okay, now you got the main purpose of the finally block, right? So either it will execute, either it will throw error exception, it will execute every time. So file is open, it will close automatically here. Okay, so that is the purpose of finally block. Anush, a concept idea on there.
Yes, bro. I have an idea.
Okay, even Java also it's quite similar.
Yes, yes. Try, catch, and finally.
Yes. So here, so general గా క్యాచ్ బదులు మనకి ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఉంటుంది ఎక్సెప్ట్.
Okay.
ఓకే, సో
Okay.
ఈ ఎక్సెప్షన్ సేమ్ జావాలో అయినా పర్మిషన్ ఎర్రర్ ఉంది, ఫైల్ నాట్ ఫౌండ్ ఎర్రర్
Yes.
ఉంది, అంత కామన్.
Yes.
ఓకేనా?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
సో ఈ try block whatever the code we will write, if any exception is occurred, it will handle in the except block,
Okay.
and finally block it will execute every time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so in finally block we can perform either closing operations, any operations like tear down actions. Okay,
Yes.
and we can have multiple exceptions also, we can handle multiple exceptions also. So even permission error, what we can say, mm, let's say file not found error. Yeah, maybe file not found error, even if you provide invalid paths, it will be file not found error. Okay, see, in this concept how many topics we are covering, referring? How many concepts? So first you are able to understand what is a, how we will write the function and function arguments. Okay, and exception mechanism as well as file handlings. Okay, now how to call this function? By using function name, by using function name we can call the function. Okay, so here what I have to provide, I have to provide file name as well as mode. Okay, so this time file name I will give learn.txt, and what is the mode? W. Okay, let's run, and even I will comment out all these things. So what is this, guys? Double triple quotes. What is the purpose of this?
comments.
Multi-line comments. Okay, for single line we can use hash, for multi-line we can use triple quotes. Okay, you see, the file should be created learn.txt. Okay, you can see learning file handlings along with exception handling. Okay, so this is the way we can use the W. So if I want to perform write read actions, let's say the same function I can rewrite here. Now I want to write a generic function that can be used for all the file operations. Okay, let's write file operations. Okay, file path mode. Okay, something like this. Now try block. if mode equals to w, what we have to do? First, open file path mode, sorry, object dot write. Hello file with write mode. Okay, so just I'm writing some data randomly. If mode equals to r, so what we have to do here? So here, if it is read mode, can we do one check here? What kind of check we can perform? To avoid exception, what we can see? How to check file is there or not? So there is a import OS, maybe just is not not is exist. So here we can provide a file path. It will return true or false. If it is true, that means file is there. We can perform a read operation. Okay. So for now we can ignore this one while discussing about package modules. At the time you will come to know all these things. Okay, simply what I will do, object dot open file path mode object dot read. Okay, for reading also there is a methods. Okay, there are three methods we have for reading. What are those? Read, read line, read lines. Guys, this question is very important. What is the difference between read, read line, read lines? Even okay. Okay. So generally write, it will write a single line. Single line, right? We can write multiple lines. So read line, what is the uses of read line? Read means it will read all the data into a single string. Okay. So even though if you have 100 lines, it will be considered as a single string. If you use the read, it will read entire data as a single string. Read line means it will read only one line at once. Okay, it will read only one line at once. What about read lines? It will read all the lines and it will return a list of lines. This point is very important, guys. Return type. So generally it will read all the lines and it will return a list of lines. Okay, we'll see with example how it will looks. Okay, clear these methods? Read line, read lines. Okay, so here, so whatever the data, oh sorry. Okay, so whatever the data I have read, I am trying to print it. Okay, let's run this program. Exception, except file not found error. So AS means alias name. Okay, print got the exception.